What a year it's been for manga, and 2024 is definitely going to be as hype as this one. In this video, I'll be suggesting 8 different mangas for everyone to read in this upcoming year. If I didn't mention one in the video that you are particularly enjoying, leave a comment. I'm interested to see what you think. Let's get into it. I want to start off the video with a couple of honorable mentions. Although they are long running and mainstream, both One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen have been doing amazing this year, with a build up on the plot and backstories of several characters. Anyway, let's get into the first manga. The first manga is Jujin no Rokunin. This is a dark manga based off a boy who was once bullied at a young age. His bullies tormented him, tortured and defiled him in many ways to a point where his parents made him transfer schools. Unfortunately, this wasn't enough, and once his bullies found out where he was, they continued to do so with an ultimatum. This led his parents, along with his younger brother, to crash their car, and unfortunately they died in the process. The only one to survive was his younger brother, who was left in a vegetative state. In hopes to get revenge against his bullies for all the anguish he was put through, he went to his grandpa, who was previously a militant which specialized in killing. This manga is a plot full of revenge and gory moments. It also has twists in the story that are very unexpected. This is definitely one you should read before it blows up and gets animated. The next manga is Nine Peaks. This manga is based off delinquents in Japan. A boy named Gaku is a young delinquent who recently started high school. His father is a young dad who runs a sushi restaurant and lives a quiet life. Due to their stark differences, the father and the son don't get on very well. The father passes away when he tries to save a young girl from being hit by a car. Gaku's family sets up a funeral, but he expects no one to turn up as his father lives a silent life. But to his surprise, the hall is filled with people that he has never seen before. Upset about his passing, Gaku, unable to shed a tear during the ceremony, decides to go fishing in commemoration of what the two of them used to do. In the process, he gets dragged into the water and finds himself 22 years in the past, with his father saving his life. The story develops into one where Gaku has to ensure that his father becomes the top don of the town, otherwise he may never be born. Similar to Tokyo Revengers, but different in some ways, with an engaging art style and varying character designs. This manga is developing into something very special and one to read. Mission Yozakura Family is also a manga worth reading. Based off a young man who is in love with his childhood sweetheart, Tayo is ill-equipped to be a part of a major spy family. Musumi, a young woman with no spy talent, must be protected at all costs against any threats to her life. One of the teachers at the school also happens to be her older brother, who is infatuated with his younger sister. Tayo, who vows to look after Mitsumi, marries her, ensuring that he protects her with his life. The story is one that you should definitely follow, with an engaging art style and a weak protagonist that gains strength rapidly to protect the love of his life. Sakamoto Days is the next manga you should read. A part of the Jump lineup, it is a force to be reckoned with. The story follows a fat man who runs a convenience store with his wife. One day, a rookie assassin shows up to his doorstep following a link where a man, previously known as the greatest assassin of all time, is running a shop. The assassin is a psychic who can read people's thoughts, and finds out that the assassin is the fat man who has barely rusted and still has the ability to eliminate multiple people at once. After giving up, the psychic goes back to his employer, who attempts to kill him off as he didn't complete his mission. Sakamoto ends up saving him, which leads to the psychic joining Sakamoto's family and working in the shop with him. The manga has amazing art with ridiculously fluid fight scenes, and the plot is developing nicely, with the arcs flowing nicely into each other. The story itself reminds me of One Punch Man, with a comedic side to the once strongest assassin. If you're looking for a good story with an anime definitely on the horizon, I would jump on this manga before it blows up. One that many of you must have heard of is Choujin X. Made by the mangaka Ishida Sui, known for his notable series Tokyo Ghoul, follows a young man named Tokyo who is not talented in anything and leeches off his immensely talented friend Azuma. The two of them are regular high schoolers who end up getting tied with a group of thugs who attempt to beat up the two of them but lost due to Azuma's natural strength. These thugs end up becoming Choujin, which is an elevated state of a human, granted with special abilities to transform, making them extremely strong. In a frantic attempt to defeat their pursuers, the two of them, Tokyo and Azuma, inject themselves with a serum that also grants them with Choujin powers. The story follows these two characters as they battle their changed fate and their lives as they deal with the consequences of their actions. This manga has amazing art, and the story also progressing nicely into what will be an all-out war. Before this becomes the next big thing, I'll jump onto this manga. Dandadan is a manga about a young boy who is often teased for his nerdy appearance and weird hobbies. As he is being bullied in class, a young woman called Momo helps him in a pinch and shows some slight interest in what he's reading. He ends up following her. He explains he believes that aliens are real, but mediums and ghosts are definitely fake. Momo has conflicting views, with her thinking aliens are fake, but mediums and ghosts are real. The two of them assign one another a task to visit an area of their choosing to ensure that the aliens are real and the spirits are also real. They end up both being right, with one another running into some trouble before they could realize it. The manga goes over how they deal with multiple yokai and alien encounters, with them trying to retrieve a pair of jewels. This manga is expected to get a new anime sometime in 2024, so before this manga becomes mainstream, read it to get ahead of the game. Finally, a manga which I'm hoping many of you have read is Gachiakuta. This manga is amazing with a fantastic art style. The manga follows a young boy called Rudo who lives in the slums of a place known as the Sky. He makes a living selling what others call junk to other people that also live within the slums. He lives with his adoptive father who shows him the ropes of how to live. He is also the one who gave him his gloves he uses to cover up the scars given to him by his biological parents. On a day out when he tried to give a girl a fancy toy, he runs into his house, finding his father on the ground stabbed in the heart. Falsely accused for his father's death, he was punished with a death penalty and sentenced to being dropped into the abyss, filled with garbage and dangerous creatures. Finding himself in the garbage-filled abyss, he runs into trouble and is saved by a mysterious masked man. Together with a group known as the Janitors, he plans on climbing his way back to the Sky, where he will exact his revenge on the people who stole the only person that was precious to him. The manga is definitely ramping up to being a great new gen, rivaling the likes of Fire Force and Jujutsu Kaisen. So if you are looking for a very good manga to read, which will likely be animated in the upcoming years, read Gachiakuta before it's the next mainstream manga. Thank you for watching today's video. If you have any other suggestions for myself or other viewers to read, please leave them in the comments. I'm always looking for a new manga to read, especially if it's recommended by a viewer. I'll see you in 2024. Have a happy new year, and hopefully this year will bring many great moments in our favorite mangas.